We are at the end of August. August is winding up. Did you know that? It's like the 25th or something.
Is he being fresh or you?
No, he's just exploring. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this week is September. That's incredible.
I'm not sure that's accurate. Do you have your phone on you?
Next week is September.
There
That's
you go.
incredible. I'll edit whichever one of those is correct in.
Okay. Which means for us, the season starts slowing down. It's our end of season kind of wrap up here on the farm. Not as in we're done farming now until next spring. Just the time for us to make big decisions. Who are we breeding? How are we breeding?
It slows down in the way that, like, when you go mountain climbing, I did this one time so I can speak from experience. I climbed Mount Katahdin. Comment below if you joined the ranks. I summited. When you make it to the top, right, you're like, yeah, I did it. Awesome. High fives all around. We did it. But really, you did half of it.
Yeah, you still gotta go down.
You still have tons of work, but as you are continually working very hard, it is getting closer and closer to being easier and
it's getting easier.
Ultimately done.
It is getting easier.
We still have so much work, like butchering. Because I'm gonna tell everybody at the end of this video, like, hey, you're not gonna see as many videos as you're used to. And a big reason to that is because we are super busy right now butchering. We just, over the weekend, we just put up 80 more chickens into the freezer.
So when we say it's the end of season wrap up, it's totally not accurate, so let's call it something else.
No, I think what you're saying is it's mentally we're starting to wrap up our season.
Well, what are we doing?
We're buttoning,
yeah, exactly.
We're walking down the mountain. We're like, there's nothing new being added.
We're making our decisions for overwintering and what we're going to be investing more time in next spring. How's that?
We often talk about, I use this illustration.
A waterfall.
Of when you're building your homestead to grow like a fruit tree does. And one of the big things, if you've owned fruit trees, you know every year you have to prune. You have to cut away things so that the things that you want to keep do better. And so this is the time of year where we start pruning our apple tree. We start looking at the homestead and saying, all right, what do we think? Who's staying? Who's leaving?
Because we grew a lot this year.
This apple tree
Our
grew
family
huge.
grew last year, and we had dietary complications and health issues, and our farm just kind of exploded from what we needed to do.
And then a pandemic hit, and our farm grew even more because it was like, well, we got to make sure we can eat. And we had more animals than we've ever had.
And the 10 years of doing this was definitely the most we've ever grown in one year.
We're not really big believers on like every year adding and adding and adding. So next year, guaranteed, you will see less animals on our homestead.
Less species, I would say.
Yeah, less species, less kinds, we should say, of animals. So guess, comment below, guess what animals will not be here next year.
And guess what we will have more of next year.
Yeah. You're not going to get an answer in this video because
we don't know yet.
We haven't really pulled the trigger yet. Hey, Solly. Spoiler alert, I think Solomon's safe. And Millie. Don't want to rat Millie out. Hi, buddy. You want to get some YouTube time. I've had a lot of comments on Instagram. People miss the camels.
Oh, see, they like you. Camels are mad at me because I wormed them last week. So somebody's still a little resentful of that.
Oh.
I don't know why Austin always makes me do these things with the camels. He's afraid.
Because you're the one who wanted to be the vet.
Oh.
We all know this.
Well, now you have to be the trainer because they're mad at me.
Oh. Ah, you booty booty.
All right, I can start milking while she's down.
How will it both be held? Folding limbs as last lights fade. Oh, you'll walk with me in the one light, one light, one light. Oh, you'll sing with me the one light.
Big decision for me this year is going into thinking about my breeding schedule. We bred Luna again last week, hoping for a nice spring calf from her. I want her to be bred before I breed these calves, who are a nice size, ready to be bred in the fall. But I need Luna to be bred first because I'm going to need to use her colostrum and her milk to feed the younger heifers' calves. So while I'd love to get them within the next few weeks, it may be in the next month that I breed both of them. So, hoping Luna took this last time. That would be a nice May calf, which would be great.
Ready? I'll turn it on.
You know she's got ladybug halter?
Oh, does she?
That's her nicely. As far as weaning, that will be happening soon as well. How's that? Just very little. So little.
Keep coming. What you say?
So we'll be cleaning the front row, which means I'll be cleaning where the water starts. Oh, a frog!
Yeah, look at that.
I'll put him outside. Yeah, hi.
This is cool. Farmer Brad sent us Ross's out chicken and raised rabbit waterer. It's got little rabbit nipples in it. Rabbits come over and squeeze it. And it's got a hole at the top to put a hose. It's got a float valve connection on the side. So you can hook this up and automatically leave it on your hose, automatically fills your waterer. Farmer Brad he's got the automatic chicken waterers, but now he's got an automatic rabbit waterer. I'll have a link below. If he's selling it, I reported back to him that it worked great, it didn't leak. So if he's selling it on his website and you have rabbits, hook it up to a hose, leave that hose on, and your rabbits will never run out of water. It's a pretty nice thing to have in your rabbit warren or your rabbit cage or whatever it is. All right, so speaking of animals that we're considering for next year, whoa, watch out, pup. Let's talk about Runny Babbitts. Here's a cute little stinking bunny. Oh, so cute and little. Look at those little ears. Boo. They are cute little things. We got rabbits, you'll remember back right at the beginning of our Homesteady camel train this year, our big push to feed our family. And we got them mainly because we found out we were dealing with some food allergy intolerance issues with our baby. And we were looking for a low allergy meat that we could safely give our baby NK to eat. And rabbits were high on the list of low allergy foods. So we got into rabbits, and then the pandemic hit and it was like, oh man, rabbit is a great source of food if you're worried about supply chains, being more self-sufficient, because you can literally feed rabbits nothing but your pasture. Rabbits have the incredible ability to live off of grass. We put them out in the chicken tractors this year and they went through so little feed. You could, if you decided not to, you could give them no feed. If you didn't have the feed, oh, easy buddy. You wouldn't have to give them any, they would still grow. It would take them longer, but you could get start to finish meat without any inputs. So they're an incredible self-sufficiency meat and low allergy meat. The jury is out on whether or not Kendra and the baby can eat rabbit. And it seems more and more like rabbit's not something that they can only have. They can, it doesn't seem to bother them, but we're not really depending on it like we were back in the spring. And the honest truth, here's, ready for this? Some honest smackdown about raising your own food. We don't really like rabbit. I'll put you back, little guy. We did rabbits and we did meat chickens this year, and we've done meat chickens for years. Rabbits was new to us this year. Rabbit, most people use as like similar meat to chicken. To us, it was like a lean, dark chicken without the skin. We really like the chicken skin. We like the flavor and the fat that it gives and the crispy crunch. Rabbit misses that, and we miss that. So we've been talking a lot about, you know, rabbits next year. Do we keep them? If we don't really like eating it, they do add a whole lot of extra work because they're a whole different animal than the meat chickens, and we're always going to do the meat chickens because we really like the meat chicken. So it comes down to the question of self-sufficiency. In a pandemic, it's nice to be relying on rabbit because you don't have to get feed imported. Chickens, meat chickens, especially like the ones we raise, the Cornish crosses, they need meat imported to them. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a lesson we learned with meat chickens this year. So it's a battle of self-sufficiency versus what we like. And it's a tough call to make. I like the self-sufficiency element, but the rabbit's sitting in our freezer not getting eaten while the chicken is getting devoured. So keep mulling it over for next year.
Holding close to me in the warm light, warm light, warm light. We'll all move on, far from here. Dust to dust.
You may notice the sheep behind me. They are actually hanging out by the butcher shop, which probably isn't the best spot for them to be hanging because that's where they're headed. We're going to be butchering the sheep sooner than later. We talked a bit about wintering or saving a couple sheep for breeding. We're going to butcher all these. They've been great, but right now Kay's diet with the baby is very heavy in lamb, and that's why we got him. So they're going to be being processed soon. We really like doing sheep this year. Not because we like sheep. They're very flighty. They don't get too personal. They're kind of a funny little animal. But with better infrastructure, they'd be a lot easier to have on this homestead. And the fact that you can just feed them grass, good quality pasture, and you know, a little bit of supplement just to make sure they're getting the minerals they need. Oh man. And the product, we love lamb. I like butchering lamb. It's very easy to process. The cow, which I'm gonna have a whole video coming out soon called Lessons I Learned Butchering My First Cow. The difference isn't just night and day. It took me 2 hours to get the cow into the butcher room. A sheep, it's one shot, it goes over your shoulder, it's done. I mean, the difference is night and day. So, will you see those sheep anymore into next year? No, but will you see more sheep on this homestead going into next year? Probably, because we like the product, we like the management, how easy. If we had better perimeter fence, it'd be even easier. And man, they're very self-sufficient. They're eating the pasture, and we have lots of pasture. Now the difference, the opposite side of that spectrum, and they're actually sharing a paddock right now, is the pigs. Right now you see the pigs over by the water and they're all arguing over who gets a drink right now. There they are, our big fatties. This year we got Cooney pigs and we got IPP, Idaho pastured pigs. We have 2 females and 3 intact male Coonies. We will not have that going into the spring. The Coonies were very fun to raise. We had a good time with them. We mainly got them to try out and see how they were on the pasture. My middle son wanted some pigs and they're a bit smaller and easier to manage. He enjoyed that. Once we got that IPP and we saw how much quicker the IPP grows and how similar he is in every other way, we just decided, boy, the IPP is a better fit. Coonies are a much more expensive pig to have. Now, you can get more if you sell them, but they were more expensive to buy. And they grow very, very, very slow, which we knew getting into it. And they don't grow very big, which we knew going into it. But they still require feed purchase. And we knew this going into. You can't just raise a pig on grass. The grazing pigs will eat more forage and you may need to buy less. We haven't really paid close enough attention to tell whether or not that was the case. But I've heard from enough people that that is true. But you still got to buy a lot of feed. Unlike the sheep, which can be totally grass-fed, the pigs, you know, you got to buy a lot of outside input. So, will we continue with pigs into the next year? Gator. Not at the scale you currently see. We haven't yet decided what we're going to do exactly for pigs and what you're going to see next year. But we are definitely going to be downsizing the pig herd while probably upsizing what we do for sheep. So this year we had more pigs and less sheep. Going into next year we'll have more bacon and less lamb in the freezer, but the following year that probably is going to flip-flop. So.
Oh, he's just too little.
That's a good sign though, I mean.
That's what they do. I mean, he's doing it right. They bite him and bite him until they lay down.
That's probably what's going on here. Look at him.
Nice. Bite.
Attention.
Oh,
okay.
I know. Look at going down.
Wow, Solly Molly.
Don't even.
He's doing his sweet strut.
Yeah. I don't know, Sally. I don't have much faith in him. Mr. Solomon seems to be coming into rut and attempting to breed Millie. Which you may say, why would he be attempting to breed her? She's already bred. We drew blood on her. Did we do a video on that?
No, we didn't.
Okay, we drew blood on her to check mineral levels, to check progesterone, to make sure. No. To just confirm that she was bred, because the levels earlier suggested she was, but camels are not easy to have them keep a pregnancy, especially in any times of stress or low minerals, low nutrition, which is how she came to us. Well, she had very low progesterone, which means she was not bred or did not successfully take. So now we got these two. What was that island show where they went on there to like... Now we have a young bull calf in rut, seems to be, trying to breed Millie. We actually have plans to ship her to a farm a couple hours east of us to get her bred. We will probably still do that. I do not know how potent he would be. I will ask our mentors though and get their opinion on it.
Oh no, he looks pretty potent. Look at that guy.
I don't see anything coming out though, so.
Oh, not yet.
Who knows? Keep a camera on him.
Solomon's doing it.
Come on.
Why? on.
Got Napoleon syndrome.
Come on. Go cuckoo. Yeah, go cuckoo.
All right.
Really gotta go.
Got a couple people asking last week, hey Homesteady, where have you been? You may have noticed our video output's been slowing a little bit. Well, this is a winding down period on the farm. It is harvest season, so it's still as much work as all summer. It's just every time we finish a job, it's the end of that. So we're finishing up a big batch of meat chickens. We're gonna finish up the sheep. We're gonna be processing them. A lot of the pigs are gonna be processed. So like, we are getting less and less each time we do something, but it's still a full day of butchering, another full day of packaging, another full day of processing. So, you may notice a few less videos, but there's another project I'm working on that I'm putting my attention towards, that I've been talking a little bit about. My new podcast. My new podcast, for now, the only way to get it is to be on my email list. So click there to join my email list. It was going to be released last week to the Homesteady Pioneers, and right at the finish line, I had a technical error. What are they doing? I had a technical issue that I ran into, and the new podcast should be coming out this week for the Homesteady Pioneers. They're gonna trial it, make sure everything works, because it's kind of a cool little podcast 1-2 punch. It's like a podcast with a little bonus thing attached to it at the end that helps you hopefully get further in building your homesteading life. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're on the email list so you don't miss it. If you don't see a lot of videos from us in the next couple weeks, know that partially it's because we're doing a lot of processing and butchering, but also I'm working really hard at getting this new podcast out to you. You're going to really love it. I know those of you who want to start homesteading and grow your homesteads, it's really geared towards that. And I know you're going to get a lot from it once it goes live. I just got to get the technology lined up, and that's coming very soon. So stay tuned for that. Whew.
Smells hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Armpit in the face. There's one certainty in farming or homesteading. It will be
disappointment.
You will be surprised. Maybe this is your first year, your fifth, we're on our 10th. Every year we are surprised. This year has been no exception. We've had allergies that we've never had before with our baby. There was a pandemic. We had yonis in our cow. If you would have told us this time last year that we would have camels on this farm, I don't think there's any way we would have believed you.
That we wouldn't have ladybug and we would have camels.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an exceptional year, but every year that we homestead has been that. There's always a day where we want to quit and buy an RV and go live on the ocean coast somewhere.
Yeah.
maybe a few days like that. You will be surprised by things. You will love goats instead of hating them. You will not like dairy cows. You will want to have only rabbits on your homestead. Your experience will be definitely specific to you, and all the challenges, ups and downs you face will be specific to you as well. So there we are, another year where we're kind of winding things down, getting rid of some things. I thought about that, those challenges you face in farming. I was just at our compost pile, and it's full of poop. But there's also sunflowers growing out there, and there's tomatoes growing out there. You didn't see where this is going.
That is gold.
There's a squash. Yeah, it's like a thriving little garden back there. Just remember, no matter what poop you were handed this year, there's still the potential.
That is so good.
For something good to grow out of it.
It's like a t-shirt. Literally, the rotting parts of our fallen cow.
Of our farm.
Just a picture of our compost pile with sunflowers coming out of it.
Yeah, like a steaming pile of poo, and there's flowers, there's fruits and vegetables.
And yeah, there's
There's
squash.
life. There's life. And that's our year. Kind of full of poop, but there's good to take away from it.
Yeah. Probably a lot of people here this year.